So one of my New Year's resolutions for this year is going to be reading more books. I've set a goal for myself to read about 26 books for this year. So that's going to be one book every 2 weeks. And then a part of that resolution is to make a review video for every book that I read. So these videos are not going to be perfect in the beginning, nor are they going to be perfect at the end, actually. I'm just going to try to make them as well as I can. So, and the initial videos are not going to be good whatsoever. So just don't expect much from me. I'm just going to do my best to present these books and their ideas. And I'm just doing this for myself and nobody else. I just like reading and I like presenting. So this is an endeavor for me that encompasses those two acts, I guess, or hobbies. So I'm just going to present you with a summary generated by ChatGPT, and then I'm going to be I'm just going to tell you about what I have gotten from this book, Animal Farm, and I'll tell you about the conclusion, and that'll be the video. So here goes what ChatGPT wrote. Animal Farm by George Orwell is a satirical allegory that uses a group of animal farms to satirize the events leading up to the Russian Revolution in 1917 and the early years of the Soviet Union. Here's the summary. The story begins on Mr. Jones's manor farm, where the animals are discontented with their human master's mistreatment. Inspired by Old Major, an elderly boar who preaches rebellion, the animals unite and overthrow Mr. Jones in a successful rebellion. They establish their own government based on the principles of animalism, a set of ideals that promotes equality and freedom for all animals. Initially, the animals experience a sense of liberation, and the farm is renamed Animal Farm. The pigs, who are considered the most intelligent animals, take on leadership roles with two pigs, Snowball and Napoleon, emerging as the primary leaders. Over time, however, the pigs become corrupt and betray the principles of animalism. They alter the 7 commandments and set a set of rules that govern the farm to suit their own desires. The pigs gradually adopt human behaviors, such as walking on 2 legs and living in the farmhouse. Napoleon, who seizes control, becomes increasingly tyrannical. He forms an alliance with the humans he once rebelled against, representing the betrayal of the animals' original ideals. The other animals, unable to distinguish between the pigs and humans, witness the transformation of Animal Farm into a dictatorship. The novella serves as a powerful critique of totalitarianism, a political corruption, and the manipulation of language for political purposes. The characters and events in Animal Farm symbolize a historical figure, real historical figures and events, offering a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power and the potential of revolutionary ideals to be corrupted. So that was the summary generated by ChatGPT. And so first of all, for my review, I would like to kind of compare it with a different book that I've read early last year, 2023. I have read John Steinbeck's of Mice and Men. So it's not, in the grand scheme of things, it's not very comparable with John Steinbeck's of Mice and Men. But if I want to compare it to a different work that I've read, I would like to compare it with John Steinbeck's of Mice and Men. And the main reason is that the character of Mice and Men, Lenny, is very much like the character Boxer in Animal Farm. So Lenny and Boxer have two main things in common. They're both not the sharpest tool in the shed. They're kind of like idiots, and they're very well intended and do things in good faith. They're very, what do you call it? Just very good people, and they don't know better than to be good people, or good people and good animal. So that's kind of like the main comparison that I can draw with of mice and men. And one of my other favorite characters from Animal Farm is Squealer, who is a pig, but he symbolizes a very. So this is something that I have wrote about the character Squealer. Characters and stories touch me in a different way because I can identify with them. In other words, there is a part in my psyche that is just as flawed as Squealer or the pigs in the story in general, that is touched or stimulated when it meets its match in such a story. So I don't know if that's clear enough, but I'm just trying to say that whenever there is a part in my psyche that is stimulated when I kind of read about a character or about a story that's just very flawed or wicked, or however you want to phrase it. And Squealer might be such a character. While I don't consider myself to have ever been a yes man like Squealer has ever been, I don't consider myself to have ever been a yes man like Squealer has been. He's not a yes man because he's scared. He's more a yes man because he wants more than he's already got. So, and there is a part in my psyche that can kind of, I don't want to say sympathize, but it can really understand where Squealer is coming from. And that's the flawed part in my psyche. And but this goes two ways. So, however, that also goes for characters such as Boxer or Lenny, who are not the sharpest tools in the shed, yet they are very much sincere, and they always act in good faith. So there are two parts of this story that touch me. Two characters, Squealer and Boxer, for two very different reasons. So one touches me philosophically because it's a very flawed character, a very wicked character, and the other touches me philosophically because it's a very good character, a very acts in good faith character. So the ending scene of the book was very interesting. So throughout the whole book, whenever the animals rebel against the humans, the pigs take charge. Of everything else, and they become increasingly corrupt. They start forming kind of like the 7 commandments. So that's kind of like the laws that they set for the animal farm, and they start increasingly not just disregarding the 7 commandments, and they start reading them differently. So whenever, so for instance, I'm pretty sure it's the 4th commandment. It says that no animal shall kill another animal. Whenever another animal gets killed by Napoleon, it's read. The other animals read it as no animal should kill another animal without cause. So they're so brainwashed that they start adding other phrases to the sentence, to the original sentence. So that was very interesting, the way George Orwell kind of demonstrated that in the book. And then they get rid of the seven commandments when they start walking on two legs, and the general rule for the whole animal farm becomes 4 legs bad, 2 legs better, which just contradicts the initial foundation that the animal farm was built upon after the rebellion against Mr. Jones. So the ending of in the ending of the book, Napoleon has a meeting with a neighboring farm called Farm Pelkington or something, and they're sitting inside together, and all the other animals start looking from outside. And when they start looking from outside, the pigs' faces change in humans' faces, and humans' faces change in pigs' faces. So when I first read that, I didn't actually understand what it was about, because I mean, I read it very I just kind of skimmed through it. I just didn't actually read it, and then I looked up what it meant, and it apparently means or it's supposed to represent that the pigs have become what they hated. They've become so corrupt that the other animals, or the overall population, just can't see the difference, can't tell the difference anymore between their leaders and the characters or the people that they rebelled against. So that was a very profound scene, very well demonstrated in the book. So yeah, I guess in conclusion, it's a really good book, and I can't go much more in depth because I'm not a literary expert. I just enjoy reading and enjoy presenting. I would like to become better at both those things. So I guess that there's not much more for me to talk about, except that it's a pretty good book. I recommend reading it to everybody. And well, it's maybe I'd like to talk about. Well, I kinda throughout the whole book, I kinda expected the other animals to rebel against the pigs, and then maybe a different sort of animals taking leadership. For instance, maybe the sheep or the horses or whatever, and then them becoming corrupt and start working with pigs and humans. I kind of expected that throughout the whole book. And there's another different thing that I expected, which was that everybody else would rebel against everybody else, and then they would just kind of start becoming friends and families, and whatever. But of course, they're my ideas, so they're terrible. So the book turned out to be, or the ending of the book turned out to be a lot better than what I have expected. So in that sense, it's a really good book, and I liked it, and I'd like to keep on going with this series. And yeah, thank you for listening.